Leadership pressure is constant. Grounded leaders respond rather than react. Welcome to Coaching Talks, folks. I'm Richard Fontanie, and today we're exploring stay grounded in the present moment and why patience and presence are essential leadership competencies. Now, if you value practical leadership insights, please subscribe and share this podcast with a colleague. And thank you for doing so. Now, this topic matters because distracted leadership creates confused teams, rushed decisions, and preventable mistakes, whereas grounded leadership builds clarity, confidence, and consistency. In a fast-moving workplace, the ability to remain present is not optional. It is a defining advantage that separates steady leaders from reactive managers. The modern workplace rewards speed. Emails demand immediate attention. Meetings stack back to back. Metrics update in real time. Yet, speed without presence produces shallow thinking. Leaders who constantly multitask often miss subtle signals from their teams. A grounded leader slows internal pace even when external pace remains high. It's about really ensuring that you have clarity in what you do. Presence sharpens observation. It improves listening. It reduces emotional escalation. And when leaders stay mentally anchored, they prevent small misunderstandings from becoming larger conflicts. And grounded presence stabilizes the organizational climate. Now, one of the things I do during these coaching talks is provide practical, traditional, and leadership strategies. So here are 5 strategies to help you practice leadership tethered to the ground. Strategy number 1 is intentional pausing. Now, before responding to a challenging email or a tense comment, pause briefly. And that pause creates space between stimulus and response. In that space lies judgment and wisdom. Leaders who react instantly often regret tone or wording. A short reflective pause prevents unnecessary damage. And before making big decisions, provide some space. I like to sleep on it before making those big decisions, and this allows me to settle and meet the issue with a clear mind while remaining calm. Now, this practice is especially valuable during performance reviews, particularly if they're troublesome. The practice is also valuable in conflict mediation or operational setbacks. Pausing does not signal any kind of weakness. It signals discipline. And over time, teams learn that their leader responds thoughtfully rather than emotionally. Trust grows when reactions are measured and consistent. Strategy number 2 is structured listening. Now, many leaders believe they listen well, yet they interrupt frequently, mentally prepare responses while others speak, or finish a sentence before the person finishes it. Often the leader misunderstands what the person wants to say. Let the person finish before speaking. Structured listening means giving full attention without multitasking, and maintaining eye contact. As well, take some brief notes. Reflect back key points before offering direction. In traditional workplaces, This improves collaboration and reduces work. Employees feel heard and clarity increases. When people believe their voice matters, engagement rises. Presence in conversation strengthens morale. Hence, listening is not passive, it's an active engagement with respect and builds engaged teams. Strategy number 3 is clarity of priorities. Impatience often rises when everything feels urgent. Grounded leaders clearly define top priorities and communicate them consistently. When teams understand what truly matters, they can allocate energy wisely. And this helps reduce frantic switching between tasks and reduces unnecessary stress. It doesn't matter what field you're in, it could be manufacturing, healthcare, education, or corporate offices. Clarity of priorities prevents confusion. Leaders should review short-term goals weekly and adjust tasks as needed. Long-term or aspirational goals should be evaluated quarterly. It's important to understand that patience grows when direction stays consistent. Therefore, focus on meaningful objectives rather than scattered obligations. This enhances a leader's focus. When a leader establishes clear priorities, the daily performance improves, both for the leader and for the team. Strategy number 4. Strategy number 4 is emotional regulation under pressure. Leadership inevitably involves setbacks, missed targets, and interpersonal tension. Grounded leaders manage their emotions responsibly. This does not mean suppressing concern. It means expressing it constructively. When leaders escalate emotionally, teams mirror that anxiety. But when leaders remain composed, teams stabilize. Consider a supervisor facing a production delay. Reacting angrily may create fear. Responding calmly while seeking solutions builds confidence. And in this case, emotional steadiness communicates competence. Presence in difficult moments often matters more than technical expertise. People remember how leaders made them feel during stress. And this reminds me of a favorite quote of mine from Maya Angelou. I've learned that people will forget what you said, and people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Strategy 5 is consistent reflection. Grounded leadership requires ongoing self-assessment. Set aside time each week to review decisions, interactions, and outcomes. Ask reflective questions. Where did I react too quickly? Where did I demonstrate patience? What signals did I miss? Reflection converts experience into learning. And without reflection, repetition replaces growth. Traditional workplaces benefit when leaders model learning behavior. It encourages teams to evaluate performance thoughtfully. Not only that, when we act with presence, our awareness increases. Leaders who reflect regularly adjust proactively rather than reactively. Reflection offers two critical competencies. It sharpens judgment and reinforces accountability. Both are essential skills for leadership. Now, I've heard repeatedly that judgment can't be taught. In one sense, I agree. But if someone reflects on their judgments, they can learn from them. They can improve them. And that, my friends, is how learning and judgment come together. Imagine a plant manager overseeing multiple departments. When he first started his role, he moved quickly between issues, giving quick directives without fully understanding the situation. Mistakes increased because he missed important details. After receiving feedback and reflecting on his behavior, he began holding short daily check-ins, mainly focused on listening. He paused before making important decisions and clarified priorities once a week. And within months, error rates decreased and morale improved. His workload didn't shrink, but his ability to live in the moment, or in other words, in his presence, increased. The change wasn't about gaining more authority. It was about disciplined attention. Steady leadership improved operational results through consistency rather than through speed. In another example, a school administrator faced parent complaints during a curriculum change. Initially, she was very defensive. Her responses escalated tensions. And after recalibrating, she scheduled listening forums and acknowledged concerns calmly. By remaining present rather than reactive, she rebuilt trust. And in the end, policy adjustments were stronger because dialogue was thoughtful and respectful. Grounded presence prevented polarization. In leadership, perception often influences performance. When people perceive steadiness and calmness, they cooperate more easily. Patience becomes a bridge between disagreement and resolution. Grounded leadership also affects personal sustainability. Leaders who operate in a constant state of urgency experience fatigue and reduced creativity. Taking a deep breath and calming down restores mental clarity. Taking structured breaks, delegating properly, and focusing deeply on single initiatives help prevent burnout. Often in traditional workplaces, learning emphasizes technical skills, but emotional stability is just as important. Now, here's a good time to refer to our Visuali system. It shows you how to create personal balance and avoid burnout. I have provided the link in the description below. So how can you begin implementing these strategies immediately? Well, here are 5 suggestions. Start with one intentional pause before major decisions. Commit to fully listening in your next meeting. Number 3, clarify the top 3 priorities for your team this week. Number 4, monitor your emotional tone during stressful conversations. And 5, schedule 15 minutes for weekly reflection. Now, these small practices create cumulative impact. Leadership transformation does not require a dramatic overhaul. It requires disciplined consistency. And presence strengthens incrementally. Patience deepens progressively. And over time, steady habits reshape organizational culture. Remaining grounded doesn't mean ignoring urgency. It means managing urgency wisely. Deadlines still exist, performance still matters, and accountability remains essential. Yet grounded leaders balance urgency with perspective. They recognize that rushed communications can undermine strategic progress, and they value thoughtful preparation before acting. In competitive industries, this steadiness often becomes a competitive advantage. While others react impulsively, grounded leaders evaluate carefully. Calm analysis often outperforms frantic motion. Patience and presence improve judgment under pressure. Staying grounded in the present moment is a leadership skill worth developing. It enhances listening, clarifies priorities, stabilizes emotions, and promotes reflection. So, in doing so, it builds trust and sustainable performance. So, this week, select one strategy and practice it consistently. Engage your team for feedback. Then reflect on how you and your team responded to any changes. And finally, make adjustments accordingly. And grounded leaders do not eliminate pressure, they navigate it with calm confidence. That steady presence exemplifies leadership maturity in today's. Now, if this episode was helpful, subscribe and share it with your leadership network. And thank you for doing so. Next week, we'll explore the balance between ambition and contentment. I hope you can join us. I'm Richard Fontanie, signing off for now. See you next week, if not before. Bye now.